wants to shout at your family, you were saying, I'm surprised I'm still married as well. That comment made me laugh. But it also made me think that you are obviously lucky to have a supportive family because, like you said, entrepreneurship is hard. We fail a lot. It's not as glamorous as people say it is. That's the entire point of what I do as my brand on this show. And, everything I talk about is talking about what entrepreneurship is really like genuinely the highs, the lows, because it's a mixture all the time. But we only ever hear the highs on social media because it's not sexy to talk about the lows. But, how has your wife been through all this, like through the 25% of successful companies or whatever that you've got? How has it been?
I've been very boneheaded and selfish, and I've barreled through, when I wasn't really paying much attention to my wife, and actually that's changed a lot since then. So there has been, I learned the hard way, and it was really, really painful times. But I do have a wonderful, supportive wife, and I think it's that, I know it's been banded around a lot, but you can't have self-development without self-awareness. So I think the last few years since the failure of my fintech e-commerce startup, where we burned through £500,000, and actually my investors were very supportive. I put a good six-figure sum of my own money in as well, so it hurt. Just not being available emotionally because I was so obsessed. And actually, in some parts, I realized that I was pretty delusional through some of that process. But I think in some ways you have to be, and it doesn't mix with family life. So I think, but since I've kind of woken up, I realized that what I had, and my kids suffered a little bit too. So I think that isn't glamorous, but I think now I'm more in the present moment, and I can actually be there, even though, because there's been times in my life where I've been there physically, but not being in the present. So, or being in my head trying to figure things out, and the pacing around at 3 a.m. in the morning trying to figure out where that 14 grand is going to come from to cover payroll and stuff. That's not, it's like, where is it going to come from? And then you fix it the next day, and then 3 months later or a month later you're in the same position. So it's painful, right? Yeah. It's not glamorous.
No,
so I would caution anyone that has a family. I've got 3 daughters, as I said. Whether you want to take this, and actually, and if you do, just make sure you're aligned, because I did things anyway, but I've actually learned that that's not sustainable.
No.
So that's the unfiltered answer.